Alright there geezers, it's Jules here from FGS alongside my good friend Tony the Toxic Shrew. But don't worry, we've patched up our differences over the Xmas break and... Oh my god, what's that smell? Was that you? Dear God, man, what have you been eating? What's that? Raw sewage and garlic, yeah, that checks out. Bloody hell, mate, that is a potent stank that you've got going on over there. Go stand over there for a bit. Open a window, crack a door, do something, knock the wall down. I need some fresh air in here. But actually, you know what, mate? Sorry, I went a bit too far. Don't feel too bad, my stinky little pal, because you've actually given me the perfect segue into today's video, because we're going to be talking about games that absolutely positively reek to the point that they include farts, guffs, and poots that are genuinely deadly. So let's grab those nose pegs and take a deep breath, as I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are 8 video games with flatulent fatalities. Oh, and obviously this is the Deep Cut with Jules Gill, baby, so don't expect to see the likes of Abe's Odyssey or Gone with the Wind from Tekken 3 or even the Big Butt Bandits, which appeared on a recent episode of the Deep Cut, because that's just too obvious. It's deep cuts only. And yes, I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, bit of a juvenile take today, Jules, a bit of a low-hanging toot of a subject right now, but come on, man, I want to kick off 2025 right. Farts you mean to go on? That joke, by the way, that last one was provided by Mark, my editor, so thank you very much, thank you very much. Oh, what's this, an award? Oh, cheers, brilliant. About time we got recognition, Mark. Number 8, Battle Chess 2, Chinese Chess, Minister versus Cannon. Naturally, there are only a few game formats in life that are genuine perfection. Those games being the Ring of Fire drinking game, Games Workshop's Blood Bowl tabletop experience, and of course the mighty mastodon of them all, chess. Yet, despite the latter's absolute domination of the board game universe, there are those that have sought to tweak the formula to create their own mad take on the format. Hate the thought of having a third wheel ruin your game? Well, why not play 3-player chess, you bloody mad head? Are you tired of your brain remaining in a solid form and want it to liquidate and slide out of your ear? Well, welcome to the world of 3D chess. And if you want your chess to have a lot more battling in and don't fancy getting your pale, flabby chest out in the car parking lot where all of those underground chess battles near my local Asda take place, then you need to check out Battle Chess. Which is exactly what it sounds like, a series of chess video games which offer sometimes brutal and sometimes hilarious animations of the pieces slicing, stabbing and shooting each other for your entertainment. Yet, as this is a list of fart-based fatalities, let's head to the world of Battle Chess 2 Chinese Chess and look at the way the minister piece uses his arse as a piece of fartillery to combat a cannon piece in combat. Here the minister will eye up the mighty gun that would lay waste to a normal man before then placing his arse right over the barrel and farting so hard that the gun misfires and explodes, killing the operator in the process. I feel like it's one of those flex moves that A, no one would see coming, and B, no one would want to see, period. It's like, oh yeah, this is my mate Carl, he works in marketing and can block cannonballs with his bloody backside. Oh, that's nice, my ex worked in Wait, what did you just say? So yeah, don't mess with this sinister minister or he'll administer a fart-based finisher. I like wordplay. Number 7, Befoul the Arena, Gladius. Or Gladius, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Okay, my friends, I won't lie to you here. Yay! I am at once both super excited to talk about this next entry, but have also been driven absolutely mad trying to find footage of its existence. So apologies to you, Mark, because you're going to have to just believe me when I say that in 2003, this underappreciated masterpiece known as Gladius hit the scene, and here you can recruit a gladiator that knocks back opponents with his thunderous guffs. And god damn it, this is the stuff we need to be talking about in 2025. Am I right, my fellow enthusiasts? So you see this big lump over here? No, that's just a picture of me. Bring on the picture of the Sam now. I see what you're trying to do here, Mark. You're trying to make me look silly here. He's a type of gladiator that you can recruit, and thanks to their size and strength, kicks all sorts of arse. But it also has the ability to destroy opponents with his arse as well. And the move in question is called Befoul Arena, which is honestly a very polite way of just saying that your warriors just themselves and is now mashing it right into their sweaty loincloth. And this move knocks back opponents as well as dealing damage and is an absolutely outstanding ability to knock enemy warriors out of position as well as off vantage points. Plus, according to a lot of guides online, when paired with the weapon called the Executioner's Blade, it can actually insta-kill enemies as well, making it one of the most broken combos in the entire game. Which makes it all the more annoying that there isn't any bloody footage out there. I mean, trust me, I wanted to show this off for you all, but I'm not sinking like 30 to 40 hours into this game to get to the point where I can actually capture it and bring it to you right here. And in reality, it comes from the fact that the Sam Knight is just outclassed by nearly every other character in this game, the likes of Centurions and Minotaurs. There's just so much so that they rarely get a look in at higher levels, despite having this ungodly and potentially stinky combo, of which there is no footage. Apologies. Number 6, Princess Gourmet, Maka Maka. So you might remember a few weeks ago, I spoke about the Big Butt Bandits and how they would kill your character with a crop dusting for the ages, and how that moment in particular broke my tiny little pea brain. Well, just when I was on the road to recovery, along came a truly obscure title by the name of Maka Maka, and it included a boss battle that was so weird that I was sent right back to the icy poo ward at my local hospital. Haha. Now, nothing about this game makes sense. The characters are super weird, their attacks defy logic, and this game is also 100% purely broken because the title actually took too long to develop, so that the publisher decided to cut their losses and essentially just release a glorified demo as a full game, regardless of the huge amount of bugs and glitches that were present. Therefore, I'm never entirely sure if the game is intentionally being odd or if this is just a result of a rushed development job. Anyway, from cutting losses to cutting the cheese, let's talk about one of the early game bosses, Princess Gourmet, who, before you actually battle her, straight up eats you and you have to fight your way out of her, which is like an internal dungeon, which is as gross and disturbing as it sounds. Still, things get even worse for players who do escape, as now they have to fight the bloated form of the princess, whose only 2 attacks are to stupefy party members with her good looks and loving smooches, and then bring them crashing back down to reality as she farts on them for some hefty damage. Now, this combination is sure to awaken something in some absolute sit-on-my-face sadists out there, but for the rest of us, this is gross and often quite deadly, because your characters can't attack back, and they just take a big old fart to the face. What a game. Number 5, killing a ghost with a fart, Black Rose. So, here's the thing, my friends. Despite looking like a man who is forever circling the drain of holding on to a corporeal form, I don't actually believe in spooks, spirits, or ghosts. I mean, trust me, human beings are scary enough, so if a weird, non-heady ghost comes in banging into my room, I'd actually just be grateful that they couldn't see me changing post-shower. It's like, ooh, nasty neck injury you got there, but also, turn around, please. I've only got my socks on. Like all British people, we never take them off, even in the shower. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Plus, also, while we're on the subject here, if you're going to hang around my house perving on me, mate, you can pay some rent, you freeloading geist. Anyway, back on track, the short horror game Black Rose also posits a rather humorous ghost-based question. Can they smell? Well, if they're in this game, the answer is yes, and they will not like what you've just guffed out into the world thanks to this game's secret joke ending. You see, in the ending chase sequence, you're being pursued by a very off poltergeist, and you have to navigate the twisting corridors to reach one of the 2 locations that will end the game. The first is the standard ending, in which you escape by the skin of your teeth and slam the main door right in the ghost's face. The joke ending, however, sees you stumble upon a mysterious liquid which you just promptly down because you've just been chased, and that is thirsty work, my friend. But much like lactose intolerant people playing a risky game of "but I do like cheese, so yes, I'll have a 4-cheese pizza with extra Gouda times," the liquid does not sit well with you, and you release such a ripper that it is borderline impressive. And borderline deadly as well. Because what follows next is incredibly surprising, as after hacking up their ghostly lungs, your spectral pursuer keels over and dies, meaning that you just killed a ghost with a weapon of ass destruction. Move over, Ghostbusters, as there's a new spirit-busting outfit in town, the Guff Busters, and boy howdy, are they kicking up a stink. The prices are good though. Number 4, Toxic Clouds, So Far Away. And so we come to a rather interesting video game by the name of So Fart Away, which seeks to not only blend the act of breaking wind with brain-breaking puzzles, but is doing all of this in the year of our Lord 2025. We are in 2025 and we have a game based around farts. I tell you, it's like the developers were told that farts were passé, but read that word with a silent P. Assay. That was the joke. Here in this offbeat comedy title, you play as Linguini, a man with a dump truck that looks like two Christmas hams are slogging 7 bells out of one another, and unfortunately, who also has the stink to match. For you see, this poor fella here has a problem. He has an illness named Flatulent Fatalities, which truly lives up to its name, as whenever he passes gas, it murders everything it touches. From plants to people, this absolute ripper decimates anything that it touches, so the player has to usher their gas around different stages without murdering all of the unfortunate inhabitants. It's kind of like Goof Troop with added poop particles, and it makes for a rather enjoyable, if utterly ridiculous time. The game is still in development, so it's very much a case of letting the devs cook, but to be honest, if this game is any indication of their real-life obsession with farts and spicy tacos, I really don't fancy a tour of their studio because it would likely stink. Number 3, the Soiled Trousers Grim Dawn. So, as you can see here, my friends, the evil finger temple of doom has once more made an appearance, and that can mean only one thing. It is time for me to be an absolute stinker and talk about video games that barely qualify for this list, and yet is one that I include anyway, because when it comes to Grim Dawn, you can indeed weaponize your bowels, but as with other entries that are shown here, and I do mean that with 2 T's, this game follows through with letting you fling feces at your enemies to kill them as well. Ooh. Ooh. Now, I know that a heavy night out can lead some of us to lose control of their bodily functions, but it will indeed be a grim dawn for anyone lucky enough to come across the Soiled Trousers loot drop, as here you've just stumbled upon a set of pre-pooped pantaloons, and for some ungodly reason, you're now choosing to wear them. And yes, while the flies that are now encircling your crotch might be fashionable in some scat-loving circles, there really shouldn't be any reason to don these dirty drawers. Well, that is, unless you find the special ability of these trousers appealing, which is to, and let me check my notes here. Oh yes, throw poisonous feces at your enemies. Right, okay, yeah, cool. Well, I've got to see this now. Got to see this. Lo and behold, you can indeed, as the game puts it, reach into the seat of your pants and pull out a stinky stool to then hurl at your enemies. Some considerable damage, might I add. And in a game as off-kilter and odd as Grim Dawn, this both feels like a very fitting way to give foes the smelly middle finger, as well as a means to truly stick the boot in against other players in PvP. I genuinely don't know whether to be impressed or horrified at the lengths the devs went to with this one. I mean, Number 2, everything farts all the time, Orc Attack, Flatulent Rebellion. Okay, so I know by now that the joke of ha 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 farts are funny is probably wearing gossamer thin for many, so I'm really just going to be left with the true turd appreciators by this point in the episode. But here is a real test for all of us. A game that puts farting front and centre of its gameplay, so much so that it becomes the least funny thing that you've ever heard or seen of after just 2 minutes of gameplay. This is Orc Attack Flatulent Rebellion, an absolute sweaty crack of a game which attempts to be like Power Stone with its arena-based brawling, but comes across like Poor Stone because it's absolute garbage. Plus, thanks to its focus on flatulence, it means that the screen is covered by so many gas effects that it's impossible to see what's going on half the bloody time. Everything in this game revolves around farts. It's your primary source of attack and can be imbued with special abilities thanks to power-ups that you'll find during the match. And this means that it will be 90% of your KOs. They will come from farts, from parting your cheeks and just parping up a storm. And the other 10%, by the way, is coming from the internal slow death that you'll get from experience of just playing this game, because it is genuinely unfun. I want party games to make a comeback, I really, really do, but this is absolute 100% ass, and not in a good way. And number 1, the Farty Squig, Warhammer Online. And so we close on a tale of love, loss, and unescapable flatulence, all wrapped up in the warming embrace of Warhammer. This, my friends, is the story of Boing Boing, the squig. Now Boing Boing and many others of his ilk can be summoned to your aid in this Warhammer themed MMO, and trust me, if you're playing as the squig herder class, you'll need all the help you can get, as you're kind of like about as strong as a light tap on the shoulder and about as intimidating as a warm bubble bath. Squigs, on the other hand, well, they're rough, tough, full of teeth and perpetually hungry, and if you steer these whirling meat dervishes right into combat, you'll take yourself off of their must-eat list as they sate their glut in battle elsewhere. But here's the thing. You're playing as a goblin, so the concept of animal abuse and morality are but far off ideas reserved for those other races who don't see the merit in getting the job done. And so despite this beast fighting the good fight for you and tanking a ton of damage, you can enact a special ability called Farty Squig, which causes little Boing Boing over here to detonate in a shower of gore and gas, dealing massive damage to everyone caught in the arse explosion. Oh yeah, and just for the record, no, Boing Boing does not survive his innards becoming very much outed, which is truly a crying shame. Or at least it would be if another squig didn't immediately take his place. So say hello to Big Tim over here, whom I'm sure will have a long and fulfilling squiggy life. Wink. Or should that be stink? No, I've just read the teleprompter, it's wink. Oh, I've really shit the bed with the ending on that one, haven't I? Hey. And there we have it, my friends, 8 flatulent fatalities in video games. I hope, Tony, come on back on here. I hope that you don't feel too bad about your stinky, perma-rotting egg arse smell outside of me just mentioning it right there. What's that? You're saying that at least it's more fresh than my writing style? Harsh words, my friend, harsh words. You know what, my friend, just for that, rivalry is back on. Get out, mate, and rebuild that wall that you knocked down earlier. He's just gotten into his car. He's left me with no wall here. Tony! There we go, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this very, very juvenile and puerile episode. I'm kicking 2025 off the right way. Truly, I am. I've just got through the backlog of other episodes. This is the first one I've actually recorded in 2025 and really kicking out strong. Just want to say a massive thank you to my editor, Mark, as well, for helping me get this ridiculous episode to the airwaves, and for you lovely people who actually helped get this title out there, because I always put suggestions up on Blue Sky of what silly titles that I'd like to write, and if I get enough likes, I send them to my boss and he just goes, well, people want to see it. It's brilliant. So basically go over to Blue Sky, go over to my account, which is at RetroJ, but the O is A0, and every time that I put up a stupid title like this, just like it. Let's just get more ridiculous titles out there. Let's do it. Anyway, if you want to follow me over on social medias, it is, like I said, Blue Sky, at RetroJ, but the O is a 0. You can follow my editor, Mark, over on his social medias over here as well. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Even though we spoke today about stuff that absolutely stinks, one thing that doesn't, my friend, is you. You smell like a rose by comparison, so treat yourself with that love and respect, all right? Because you deserve the bloody best. And especially seeing as we're at the start of 2025, the nights are long, the days are cold, the sun does not break through the clouds. It can be very easy to get down on ourselves without that extra vitamin D just perking us up. So just treat yourself well at the start of the year. Don't try and take on too much either. I know that New Year's resolutions are a big thing, but don't try and do huge changes overnight. Small, gradual steps. That is how you start internalizing it and move forward, all right? So don't take on too much, treat yourself well. My 2 little cliff notes, all right? As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.